Today we'll conclude our little Nürburgring Nordschleife video series as we'll return to our F1 1975 mini-season, where it is finally time for the German Grand Prix. The 1975 edition of that was the penultimate time F1 ever visited the Nordschleife, and ultimately this race was won by Carlos Reutemann. We today, however, will be racing as Jacky Ickx in the outdated Lotus 72E that was still surprisingly strong the last few races, scoring a handful of points. Can we keep the streak running on one of Ickx's favorite tracks, over which he argued a lot with Jackie Stewart when he was still racing? Well, we'll find out just after taking a look at the starting grid. And it is a Ferrari front row lockout with Regazzoni starting from pole and Lauda alongside him in P2. And then we have Carlos Reutemann, Emerson Fittipaldi, Ronnie Peterson, Jody Scheckter, Carlos Pace, ourselves, Jacky Ickx. We start from P8. And then we have Jochen Mass, James Hunt, Jean-Pierre Jarier, Patrick Depailler, Vittorio Brambilla, Tom Price, Mark Donoghue, Dave Charlton, Rolf Stommelen, Chris Amon, Mario Andretti, Graham Hill, Bob Evans, Wilson Fittipaldi, Guy Tunma, Arturo Messario, Eddie Kazan, and Lala Lombardi for the rest of the grid. And here we are in our grid position, awaiting the start of the 1975 German Grand Prix, and it is a pretty short hold as we are now underway for this 7-lap race. Now 7 laps, that doesn't sound long, but it is very long indeed at the Nordschleife, as we are already very close to Jody Scheckter in his Tirol. We've been passed by Jochen Mass there, going into the Südkehre. Pretty long right hander, plenty of overtaking opportunity then later in the race. Right now it's all a bit crowded and there is not a lot of room to go alongside Jody Scheckter. Now might be an opportunity. He's defending the inside line as we go towards the part of the track that leads to the left, proper on the Nordschleife, as we now enter Hatzenbach alongside Jody Scheckter. Around the outside, Scheckter has the better line and manages to stay ahead. As we now really properly enter the Nordschleife, where it's all getting a lot of, well, very twisty and lots of elevation change here. Very tricky to get right, very tricky to actually know where you're going next. As we now have a chance against Jody Scheckter, trying to go alongside him, but the next one is a left. And then we have a pretty long run towards Flugplatz, which has its name because you might actually take off with your car here. This is, our back got a little bit unsettled there. We have to counter that. We were alongside Jody Scheckter, but almost went off the track. We had to let Jochen Mass through. Now, this is not ideal, as we are now going towards the Schwedenkreuz. And then Arenberg, which is one of the better overtaking opportunities for us. Mass, though, defends the inside. There was no space for us to try something into that hairpin that then goes through that bridge here. One of the few spots that you can actually distinguish from all the others, because it really is the green hell, as everything looks so similar, and it is such a long track. But a fantastic challenge. As going towards the Adenauer Forst, we lose our car, went off the track there, still managed to stay out of any wall. We're pretty lucky that there is no wall very close to the track there, but we lost position now to James Hunt in the Hesketh. Now, James has shown some great qualifying performances this year, but here at the Nürburgring, well, he was not that lucky in qualifying. But maybe this time it is the other way around, because he's still waiting for his and Hesketh's first point of the season. Running very well in loads of races, but then has lost out quite a bit as we jump a little further in time. Still in the opening lap. Now we are going towards the carousel. We have a little bit of an opportunity here in another good overtaking spot. After a long flat out bit, we moved past James Hunt, but now we have the outside as we are going into the carousel, which is not ideal because we can't use that bank bit here, and this is losing us loads of time, as that banking really helps you to get through that corner. Well, we didn't have the room to go on that banking, so we have to let James Hunt in his Hesketh back through ahead of us. There is now a little train or group of cars building behind our teammate Ronnie Peterson, who was pretty quick over one lap, but now seems to be struggling in the race, as we are once again alongside James Hunt. Very unusual to make a move here, but we were far enough alongside, and then we actually found a way past him. And now we're in that group that is fighting for P6, actually. 6th is currently Ronnie Peterson ahead of this group. Then Jochen Maas, Jody Scheckter, ourselves now in that fight as well. James Hunt just behind us. Oh, we almost pushed Jody Scheckter through that right-hander here. Up the hill we go on the latter part of the racetrack now. The majority of the first lap is done now. This is also a very tricky part. Our car also there tried to go off the ground a little bit here. The same situation. You really need to be careful on these over these crests that might actually make your car take off. And then you've seen at Flugplatz what can be the consequence of it. We were pretty lucky that the consequences were not worse for us. But, yeah, in this case, we managed it well, and now we're pretty close. This might be an opportunity. We get a better exit there towards the Kleines carousel as we enter it. Oh, Jody Scheckter still managed to stay ahead, but squeezing us a bit there, so we weren't able to get a good launch out of that corner. And now this is getting really important. Through Galgenkopf we go on towards the long straight over the Döttinger Höhe. Now this is a super long straight. Slipstream really comes into effect here, and this might be a very interesting battle. Now Jochen Maas is already alongside Ronnie Peterson ahead of us. We're trying to get involved into that battle as well, but you can't really go more than 2 wide, which is a bit of an issue as we now block ourselves. Almost 3 right they are now. Ronnie Peterson staying in the middle of the road, making it very difficult for Jody Scheckter or Jochen Maas to go alongside him now through that left-hand kink here, down the hill, and now towards the final bit of track, which is Hohenrhein, and then we will be completing our first lap here. Or a bit of contact there between Jochen Maas and Jody Scheckter. As now we enter the start-finish straight, past the pits we go into lap 2, and this is how we're entering lap 2. Claire Regazzoni still in the lead ahead of Niki Lauda and Carlos Reutemann. Fittipaldi 4th, Pace 5th, as now we attack Jochen Maas going into the Südkehre, and we managed to make it through, so now we're up to 8th, ahead of us Jody Scheckter. So not a great end to that lap for Jochen Maas, who lost 2 spots there in his McLaren. And now we might even have an opportunity against Jody Scheckter going towards the left-hander. That brings us onto the Nordschleife. We stay behind though. We don't have the best line to enter that corner. Jody Scheckter on the outside had the preferable one, at least, as long as he was that far ahead of us as he was. Now, we were losing a bit of time, but later that lap, we were getting really close once again to the back of that Tyrrell. And now, once again, we are going to Arenberg, which is a very good overtaking opportunity, but you need to get a good run through that left-hand kink here. That is Schwedenkreuz, but once again, Scheckter defends the inside. Maas now on the outside took his opportunity as we were trying to make a move past the Tyrrell. Well, the McLaren says thank you very much and moves past. So Jochen Maas back up to 8th, and we're down in 9th once again. Entering the Adenauer Force now. Oh, this might be another opportunity for us, and we take it. We're alongside Jochen Mass now. Scheckter moves past Ronnie Peterson at that moment, and now it's all about acceleration on the throttle. We both have Cosworth DFVs, so both ourselves and Jochen Mass, but we managed to move past the McLaren, and now we're looking to make it past our teammate as quick as we can, who's really holding us up here. You were able to see it as we entered lap 2 how big the gap already was between the top 5, which are very close together, and Ronnie Peterson, who was entering this lap in P6. But Jody Scheckter, yeah, now he's slowly starting to pull away, but we don't want to let him get away, as he is in 6th, the final point scoring positions, and we want to score yet another point here for Lotus, the struggling Lotus team this season. But now this might be our opportunity, and this is looking very good as we're going towards the town of Breitscheid, and we move round the outside, we move past Ronnie Peterson. Oh, careful there, not losing the car on that downhill bit, but we are past our teammate and are now just behind Jody Scheckter. Now a long high speed bit. We might be able to get a bit of slipstream, but not really. A good opportunity to make any moves here, and once again, the tough luck for Jody Scheckter continues. This is now the 3rd, 5th, 4th time that it's certainly not the 5th, it wasn't at every race, but the 3rd or 4th time this season that his engine is just giving in while he's running in the points or fighting for the points. That is terrible. And yeah, he's already slowing down, but as I said, on that high speed bit, it's tough to find a way past as we get a face full of smoke there. Where is the best opportunity? Now it might be coming up. There is a heavier braking zone, or we might be a bit far away, but we will still try it. And there we go. We force our way past Jody Scheckter now through that right-hander towards the carousel, and we are now past the Tyrrell that will not see the end of this race, I'm sure of. And well, we are 6.5 seconds behind Lauda, who dropped down to 5th. Very interesting. He's now the car ahead of us, as we are now watching the fight of Niki Lauda for P4. Well, he had a terrible second lap, dropped down behind Carlos Pace. Even Reutemann, in the meantime, as you were able to see there, has taken the lead of this race, ahead of Claire Regazzoni and Emerson Fittipaldi, the reigning champ. And I'm not too sure, was there smoke coming out of Lauda's car? Oh, that would also be some tough luck, because that also would be the 3rd DNF because of a mechanical issue with his Ferrari. And I believe, yeah, there is a bit of smoke coming out. And now he's slowing down! Niki Lauda is slowing down! Pace is getting away from him, and yeah, there we go, also over the crest. This is our point of view. Lots of dark smoke coming out of that car. That is a huge engine blow up there for Niki Lauda. We move past the Austrian, and now up in P5. Oh, we just managed to get it stopped in time there. That could have been bad through Bergwerk, because we got a little distracted, and now, oh no, this can't be true. This is the end of lap 5. Carlos Pace, who caught back up to Fittipaldi and Regazzoni, that are fighting for 2nd as Reutemann got away. But now, the 2nd Brabham, Carlos Pace, he is smoking now as well, just like Niki Lauda did 2 laps ago. Well, he's still trying to attack them. In the background, you can see us in the Lotus, currently running in 5th, but this will, I'm sure of it, become 4th in a bit of time. Because, oh, even a bit of contact there. Carlos Pace, he didn't realize that his car is smoking, I believe, but now he's realizing as the car is slowing down. We move past Pace at the end of lap 5, and now with just 2 laps to go. Oh, sliding a bit, just as it was like when we passed Lauda after his DNF, getting a little overexcited there. after making up a spot. And this is now how we're entering lap 6, the penultimate lap already. Reutemann leading 5.2 seconds ahead of these two, Regazzoni and Fittipaldi, who are in a battle of their own. Fittipaldi tried it into turn 1 there. Now, through the Südkehre they go. Fittipaldi lines up behind Regazzoni once again, but now he might have the opportunity with a bit of slipstream. The following corner will be a left-hander. He's already looking down the inside. He will try something. He is having a little look. Oh, there is contact between Fittipaldi and Regazzoni. They make more contact. And Regazzoni gets spun round by the Brazilian, by the reigning world champion there in the background. You are able to see us. We say thank you very much. And now move up into 4th. We didn't have to do anything for it. The last overtake we properly did against a car that was not already broken was against our teammates. Jody Scheckter then had engine issues ahead of us. Niki Lauda, Carlos Pace, and now that tangle between Fittipaldi and Regazzoni sees us move up another 2 spots. But yeah, Regazzoni won't be too happy about that. Now we seem to already have a bit of a healthy gap to Emerson Fittipaldi in that McLaren. Still a 3rd now for him. Nothing has changed in terms of position. Clay Regazzoni, he won't be too happy about that. There will be discussions after the race between the two, I'm sure of it. Oh, now look at that! Fittipaldi getting very close through Schwedenkreuz. Now this might be a big opportunity into Arenberg. He might be able to try something. He had a little look there down the inside, but now he's too far away already. We managed to hold on to it. He was too early, too close too early this way around. So yeah, he had to back off a little bit. Now going through the Fuchsröhre, the car's really backing out there. This is an exciting bit of track. You're really able to see it there with Emerson Fittipaldi. But bottoming out the car there for Fittipaldi, as now we enter the Adenauer Forst ahead of the Brazilian, and we already have recreated that gap that we just lost through the Schwedenkreuz. But, well, one that can't be bothered with anything that is going on behind him is Carlos Reutemann, the Argentine driver. Is coming around the final corners here. He hasn't won a race so far this season. He's gonna change that now. He's gonna change it today. Carlos Reutemann goes down the pit straight and wins at the Nürburgring. Carlos Reutemann wins the German Grand Prix. Congratulations to the Argentine driver. Very, very well done and very well deserved. And now here we go, still sitting in 2nd, a couple of seconds behind Carlos Reutemann, but I also wanted to show you our finish in P2. This is certainly more than we expected ahead of this race, as we now cross the line as well. And here are today's point scorers. Reutemann finishes ahead of Jacky Ickx and Emerson Fittipaldi. Clay Regazzoni comes home in 4th. James Hunt finally scores some points this season. Jochen Maas gets the final point in 6th. And this is the Drivers' Championship. Emerson Fittipaldi in the lead on 23 points. Carlos Reutemann just behind him now on 21. And the other Brabham of Carlos Pace also 21 points in 3rd. He's lost the championship lead. Then we have Clay Regazzoni, Jacky Ickx, Niki Lauda, Mario Andretti, Patrick Depailler, Jean-Pierre Jarier, and Ronnie Peterson. This is the top 10 of the Drivers' Championship. And for the Constructors' Championship, we see Brabham in a comfortable lead on 42 points. Then behind them, an exciting battle for 2nd between Ferrari and McLaren. They're just 1 point apart. And Lotus, surprisingly, on 15 points, sitting in 4th. So their season going a lot better than it started and than they expected. So these are the top 10 in the Constructors' Championship. And that has been it for today's video for round 5 of our little 1975 season in Automobilista 2. We will continue in 2 weeks' time for the final video of this year at the Österreichring for the Austrian Grand Prix. Will be very exciting, this one as well. So subscribe to not miss anything happening on this channel. Leave a like if you did enjoy the video, and feel free, of course, to check out the other 2 Nürburgring and Nordschleife videos I did in the last couple of weeks. And yeah, I hope to see you all the next time. Until then, goodbye.